Candidates contesting in General Election 2020 will address voters in this constituency political broadcast. Single-member constituency candidates will be given 3 minutes. Candidates in 4-member group representation constituencies will be given 12 minutes. And 5-member constituencies will be given 15 minutes. Candidates will speak in any of the 4 official languages. Here are the candidates contesting in Aljunied GRC.
Dear voters of Aljunied GRC, for this general election, the Workers' Party team for Aljunied GRC consists of 3 returning candidates, Sylvia Lim, Faisal Manap, and myself, who have served you for the last 9 years. With the retirement of Mr. Lau Tia Kiang and Mr. Chen Shou Mao, we have brought in 2 new candidates into the Aljunied team who are no strangers to the public, Gerald Giam and Leon Pereira. Tonight, we hope to persuade you that our team offers you a better choice and ask that you vote for us. All 5 of us have parliamentary experience, both as elected MPs and non-constituency MPs. During our time in Parliament, we have asked tough questions on your behalf to hold the PAP government accountable. As Workers' Party MPs, we have been rational and responsible. We support the government agenda when we think it is on the right track and oppose it only when we find it not to be in the national interest. For instance, we opposed the government's population white paper in 2013 because we did not agree that Singapore needed a 6.9 million population to be dynamic. We also refused to apologize for questioning the government on GST. Being from the Workers' Party, we take our party's position on issues and do not need to agree on what the government says. If you vote for a PAP team in Aljunied GRC, your new MPs will have to support the agenda of their party. And they may even need to watch what they say in order not to fall out of favour with their party leadership. This will not strengthen Parliament as a check on government. If you believe that Parliament is an important institution, and we have to make it more transparent so that elected non-PAP MPs are represented in Parliament. The Workers' Party MPs take our parliamentary work seriously so as to be your voice and your check and balance. At the town council level, Workers' Party has been running the Aljunied Hougang town, managing HDB flats in Hougang, as well as in the Aljunied wards of Bedok Reservoir Punggol, Eunos, Kaki Bukit, Serangoon and Paya Lebar. You know that services in your estate are functioning from cleaning to pest control. Cyclical works to renew the estate have been ongoing, such as repainting, rewiring and the renewal of playgrounds and exercise areas. There have also been improvement works such as additional linkways, and there are currently other works in progress which are resuming after the lifting of the COVID-19 restrictions. The financial position of AHDC today is healthy. Since our current term in late 2015, the Town Council has steadily built up its operating fund position. The latest audited figure records an accumulated surplus of $7.9 million, more than double the accumulated surplus when we took over from the previous Aljunied Town Council in 2011. Last year, AHDC's financial statements were given a clean and unqualified opinion, and the Ministry of National Development also graded AHDC's corporate governance with a green banding. We are thankful to everyone who has contributed to this. For residents living in private property, the Workers' Party MPs are not directly in charge of managing and improving the estate, which remain within the jurisdiction of government agencies and the People's Association. Nevertheless, we have tried our best to attend to municipal issues and other more personal matters you have brought to our attention, including representing your interests in Parliament. We have also enjoyed meeting you during our estate visits and social events such as the Mid-Autumn Festival and Christmas celebrations. We are thankful to all volunteers and sponsors who have made such events memorable. GE2020 was a close call for us when we won by just 2,626 votes. We understand that your vote needs to be earned. We have worked hard to earn your trust, sometimes under very difficult circumstances. For those who feel that we have not met your expectations, we seek your understanding and promise to do better. Now, more than ever, your vote is essential to chart the kind of political system Singapore should have. Make your vote count. Vote for the Workers' Party.
Pilihan raya umum kali ini, pasukan Parti Pekerja bagi GRC Aljunied terdiri daripada 3 calon yang kembali bertanding. Pitam Singh, Sivil Lim dan saya yang telah berkhidmat kepada anda selama 9 tahun. Dengan pengunduran Lau Ta Kiang dan Chen Shou Mau, kami telah menampilkan 2 calon yang tidak asing lagi pada masyarakat, John Pereira dan Gerald Giam. Kami berharap dapat meyakinkan anda bahawa pasukan kami menawarkan pilihan yang lebih baik kepada anda dan kami meminta anda untuk mengundi kami. Kami berlima mempunyai pengalaman sebagai anggota parlimen, sama ada sebagai anggota parlimen terpilih atau anggota parlimen tanpa kawasan undi. Semasa di parlimen, kami menjalankan tugasan semak dan imbangan agar memastikan pemerintah PAP menjalankan tanggungjawab mereka sebaik mungkin demi kesejahteraan Singapura. Sebagai anggota parlimen Parti Pekerja, kami selalu bersikap rasional dan bertanggungjawab. Kami akan menyokong agenda pemerintah jika kami fikir ia mendatangkan kebaikan kepada negara dan menentang jika sebaliknya. Contoh, kami menolak pengumuman pemerintah untuk menaikkan kadar GST sebanyak 2%. Parti Pekerja telah menguruskan Majlis Bandaran Aljunied Hougang sejak 2011. Pengurusan Majlis Bandaran termasuk perkhidmatan pembersihan dan kerja-kerja pembaruan estet. Kedudukan keuangan AHTC kini adalah sihat. Angka terakhir yang diaudit bagi dana operasi Majlis Bandaran pada Mac 2019 adalah lebihan terkumpul sebanyak 7.9 juta. Pada tahun lalu, penyata keuangan AHTC dikurniakan status bersih dan memenuhi syarat. Kementerian Pembangunan Nasional telah memberi kod hijau untuk kategori tadbir urus korporat AHTC. Kami berterima kasih kepada semua pihak-pihak yang telah menyumbang terhadap pencapaian ini. Parti Pekerja telah ditubuhkan pada tahun 1957 dan telah wujud selama 60 tahun. Kami telah mengharungi pelbagai cabaran, namun ia tidak sesekali mematahkan semangat kami untuk terus memperjuangkan nasib masyarakat Singapura. Pada pilihan raya umum 2015, kami hanya menang dengan undian majoriti kecil. Kali ini, kami meminta sokongan yang kuat dari anda. Undi anda amat penting dan berharga dalam melakar masa depan yang lebih baik bagi anda, keluarga anda dan negara Singapura. Manfaatkan undi anda, undilah Parti Pekerja.
各位选民，大家好。阿育尼集选区的工人党团队，除了毕丹星、费沙和我，还有2位大家熟悉的面孔，他们是严彦松和贝里安。工人党是个理性、负责任的政党，我们在国会中努力守护新加坡人的利益，发表了人口白皮书，提出灵活使用公积金等民生课题，有利于国人的政策，我们一定支持。应该为国人争取的福利，我们从不退缩。我们会是您在国会里有力的代言人。我们所管理的阿育尼后港市政理事会，除了尽力做好主务区内的清洁工作，也努力维修主务的缺陷。这些年来，市政会也翻新和增添了区内的设施，这包括改善公共设施和粉刷主屋，翻新健身和游乐场，增设遮风挡雨的有盖走廊等等。市政理事会也采用了新的电脑系统，成功解决了许多财务审计上的难题。最新市政会财务审计的报告也令人鼓舞。我们现在管理财务的电脑系统将能更完善地为居民提供服务。 虽然私人住宅区不在市政会的管辖范围之内，但是我们也在国会中针对私人住宅区居民所提出的政策建议和有关民生课题发言。过去的9年里，不但家访时的交流使我们获益不浅，我们也很珍惜有机缘和大家共庆中秋节和度过无数难忘的圣诞节。我们期待能继续为您服务。你的选票将决定新加坡民主政治的未来走向，投工人党一票。
Voters of Aljunied GRC, the PAP keeps saying there's no need to vote for the opposition, as the NCMP scheme ensures your voice in Parliament. Don't be swayed by this argument. Parliament is not just a talk shop where MPs make speeches. It exists to make laws which are voted on by MPs. The PAP will feel safe as long as their 2/3 majority is not threatened. But once the opposition gains more seats, they will be forced to consult you, and you will have a more responsive government. I've been in NCMP before, and I know the limitations of that position. Without constituents to serve and a town to manage, it's hard to establish a base. I worked the ground for almost 4 years in Fengshan SMC after the 2015 election. We ran a food distribution program for over 240 families. For the last few months, I've been covering the duties of Mr. Lau Tia Kiang in Aljunied GRC. This has allowed me to walk the ground, familiarize myself with the constituency, and get to know many residents in ways I could not as an NCMP. When I was in Parliament, I filed over 150 questions and spoke on healthcare, transport, and manpower issues. I debated with ministers over the population white paper and MediShield insurance payouts. Please allow me to use the experience I've gained to serve a second term in Parliament. 阿育尼集选区的选民，这次的大选，你的决定会影响到你的孩子跟孙子的未来。我们工人党进入国会，是希望能迈向一个有制衡的国会，也能更完善的讨论政策，来改善人民的生活。请支持我们的团队。 让我们在未来的几年为你服务，代表你在国会发表意见，让你的一票成就未来，投工人党一票。Make your vote count. Vote for the Workers' Party.
My friends, Workers' Party MPs in Parliament have spoken up to hold the government to account, from topics like spending on foreign student scholarships to the Keppel corruption scandal. We've moved parliamentary motions to propose alternative policies on big issues like public transport, NS safety, redundancy insurance, class size in schools, economic policy and the mechanism of the reserve presidency. We support most bills in Parliament if they are good for Singapore, though we voice our suggestions to improve them. We support the government's defence and foreign policy, but if the bills are wrong for Singapore, we vote no, as we did against the GST hike, the Constitution, amendment to the presidency and POFMA. I serve on the town council and have participated in grassroots activities in Aljunied for several years. Having walked the ground in Aljunied and other areas, I'm impressed at the service quality of AHTC. I don't think AHTC's outcomes on the ground are any worse than any other areas in Singapore where I have walked or lived. On the 9th of November 2016, I asked DPM Teo in Parliament if it was the government's aim to win 100% of fully elected Parliament seats for the PAP, leaving the opposition to be losing NCMPs. His reply was that, I quote, "We go into an election with the intention of fighting for every vote and winning every seat," unquote. And the PAP fights with huge advantages and resources. In 2001 and 2015, the PAP won around 70% of votes or more, almost wiping out alternative parties from all fully elected seats. With COVID, this could happen again in 2020. But by voting for the Workers' Party, you will get constructive, responsible MPs who work hard in Parliament, while on the ground you'll benefit from our experience in running the town council, as well as the support of the PA, with the losing PAP candidate as a grassroots advisor. The PA will continue to run activities, events and services, as has happened in Aljunied and Hougang since 2011. The voices of NCMPs can be ignored, as they don't carry the full mandate of the people. The voices of fully elected opposition MPs cannot be ignored by the PAP at the risk of losing more fully elected seats. Please make your vote count. Please vote for the Workers' Party.
Fellow Singaporeans, Aljunied voters, I am Victor Lai Tian Fa. The PAP arose out of adversity. Together with you, we built Singapore. An accidental nation, we defied the odds. We are special. 一个小红点, we cannot be like other countries. We must be a democracy of deeds. Not smooth words, not slick videos, but honest and accountable MPs who answer to residents. A government that can deliver for us. Our team is tested in adversity. It's not easy to serve in Aljunied, but we choose to do so despite the odds. We do this with you at the center of what we do. While others talk, we have continuously served you. In GE2020, we stood up for you, forced a recount. While opposition members who lost could enter parliament, we could only look on and continued serving you the very next day. These are tumultuous times. Our jobs and livelihoods are at stake. Though not your MPs, many of you reached out to us for help. A student emailed me. Her father lost his job. She needed pocket money. I know that pain as a child, so I donate to her now, every month. In Aljunied, we will start a pocket money fund for disadvantaged children. And to each one of you by name who reached out to us for help with lost jobs, lost incomes, we feel you. We understand, and we will do our best. In Aljunied, we will set up jobs and livelihood centers for you. Dear Aljunied, we need the whole of Singapore in this tumultuous time to come together as a national effort led by the PAP to steer us through the troubled waters. Aljunied, please join this effort. 一人拾柴火不旺，众人拾柴火焰高。Aljunied is yours, not somebody's political hostage. It should be about your lives, your jobs, and our future. You have given them 9 years. It's time. Bring us home. In Aljunied, our Malay community, you are very important to us. Syam.
Thank you, Vic. Nama saya Syamsul Kamar bin Muhammad Razali. Sejak pilihan raya yang lalu, pasukan PAP masih terus berkhidmat untuk anda, penduduk Melayu Islam kita di Aljunied. Selama ini, kami telah memperdalamkan pendekatan dan memperkenalkan banyak lagi program-program dengan kerjasama pemerintah dan M Kuasa 3. Tetapi, pernahkah anda bertanya mengapa kita terus berkhidmat walaupun tidak dipilih pada tahun 2015? Jawapannya mudah. Anda adalah tumpuan keutamaan kita. Tetapi situasi negara telah berubah. Suatu normal baru, iaitu COVID-19, telah dan akan mempengaruhi gaya kehidupan warga kita. 2 bulan yang lalu, saya sendiri telah bertemu ramai penduduk Aljunied, terutama pemandu teksi, penunggang Grab dan mereka yang bekerja di sektor penerbangan dan pelancongan yang telah terjejas oleh wabak ini. Sedih saya apabila mendengar cerita penduduk secara tiba-tiba kehilangan kerja, membawa teksi berjam-jam tanpa penumpang dan selepas itu harus membayar kos sewa dan minyak. Ada yang ceritakan di mana keluarga yang berkurangan wang simpanan terpaksa tidak makan tengah hari kerana khawatir wang tidak mencukupi pada hujung bulan. Tetapi kita bersyukur pemerintah kita bertindak dengan segera membentang 4 belanjawan berjumlah $100 bilion untuk membantu dan meringankan kesusahan rakyat. Sekiranya dipilih sebagai ahli parlimen, kita akan bekerja dengan lebih keras lagi untuk menghadapi ancaman COVID ini. Kita akan bangkitkan masyarakat kita dan maju bersama. This election is about you being the center of what we do. After 9 years of representation by the Workers' Party, we have to ask ourselves, what has Aljunied been for us? Are we the check and balance mechanism of the country, or a catalyst to take Singapore forward to greater heights? Aljunied needs a team that not only speaks for you, but journeys with you. And that is why we are standing once again for you, for Singapore. I shall now hand over to Hui, who will share with you how we've been sharing and caring for our young families as well as the elderly. Hui?
Terima kasih, Syam. Hello, I'm Chen Hui-Yi. We have been on the Aljunied ground over the years and we know your concerns. For example, in Serangoon, wouldn't you like to spend less time waiting in the jam when driving down Serangoon Garden Way? I know I would, and I'm already looking into it. In Aljunied, we want to work with you to meet your needs with local services, schemes and programs. 许多居民们都有年长父母亲还有孩子要照顾，那同时也为力争上游而努力。那天我在石龙岗北的152的吉源咖啡店碰到 Sarah， 平时开朗的她一个人愣在那儿，皱着眉头发呆。我就问她：“Sarah， 你在想什么？”她就无助地望着我说：“因为疫情完全没有收入，然后还有老少要照顾，不知道怎么办才好。”那 Sarah 呢是位单亲自雇补习老师，因疫情之前，她还跟每个家长一样啊，想望子成龙，希望孩子能到出名的那个艺术学院上课，但因为学费太高，不能实现。现在更不幸的是，她和儿子跟住在洋房的阿姨租了一个房间，所以不能得到政府给的自雇人士补贴。还有像 Tracy 的居民们，因为妈妈中风需要全天的照顾，但因为看护人的费用太高，所以得放弃工作和自由，全天的照顾妈妈。日常生活开销，如例行维修，如聘请看护人、补习班等费用都不便宜。我们要与居民们合作，把日常开销压低。我们已经开始为乐龄人士提供含有津贴的移动诊所服务，让居民们能以较低价格得到体检和打疫苗针。I know costs for essential services like caregivers, tuition, household maintenance, and so on can be high. We will get help from our supporters and our merchants associations to support our community. We can harness the power of negotiation as a GRC to get the best prices for our essential goods and services. So we can get the best tutors for the best price, so you pay less. We will start a local fund for residents to tap on, so that even residents living in private estates will be eligible as long as your income level meets our lower threshold set. Our help schemes will be based on trust and not on rules that make it difficult for you to get help when you need it. We will build a culture where everyone looks after each other in the neighborhood so that our estates are harmonious and safe for the young and the elderly alike. We know the existing problems in Aljunied and the further challenges that COVID-19 may bring. We look forward to working with you so that we can help you achieve your dreams and aspirations for yourselves and your families. Now, Eng Leong will talk about what we've been doing on the ground. Eng Leong?
Thank you, Hui. Dear friends, since the 2011 GE, the PAP team continues to walk with you. We have listened to you. We know the issues. We know how you feel. Aljunied has not been left behind. I am Chua Ing Leong, Tsai Rong Liang, candidate for election for Aljunied. Victor Shamshul and myself contested the 2015 GE with you and for you. Even though we were not elected, we were not disheartened. We know your concerns about our aging population, medical and estate improvements. Just look around you. You can see many new facilities that have been added within the last 5 years. Our infrastructure has improved as we continue to engage the government on your behalf and provide necessary ground feedback. We fight hard for you. Major projects like a new polyclinic, a community hospital, and even 4 MRT stations on the upcoming Cross Island Line. We have delivered on our 2015 GE promise, 说到做到. In the next 5 years, we will complete the upgrading of your neighborhoods and parks and make your estates barrier-free. These projects require a substantial amount of funds, but we will work hard to find a way, even in this difficult COVID-19 period, to raise the funds for you. With my 20 years of proven track record in finance, we will be fair and conduct our operations with integrity and better manage public funds. Our vision is for a caring community. A vote for us is a vote for change. We are 5 ordinary people serving you. You are at the center of what we do. Alex will share what more we can do for you.
Thank you, Ing Leong. 大家晚上好，我是杨生才。我们阿育尼集选区人民行动党的团队，从2011年落选后，从来没有停止为阿育尼集选区的居民们服务。无论是执政党还是反对党，我们的使命是每天尽心全力，以真诚的心态为居民服务。这是我们在阿育尼集选区的日常工作准则。所谓路遥知马力，日久见人心。我们以用心用力2大准则，天天为居民们服务。唯有让你们感受到我们真诚的表现，才能与您建立并重建我们之间的信任与感情。而这必须通过长年累月、持续的多听、多了解、多努力才能办到。我们希望这些年所付出的努力，能获得阿育尼集选区的选民们的肯定，给予我们机会再次代表你们。我们可以为您做得更多、更好。谢谢。Good evening, I'm Alex Yeo. You have heard from my fellow candidates about how our team have remained and served in Aljunied over the past 9 years. It has not been easy, but we continue to work hard to build and rebuild the trust and relationship with every resident in Aljunied. I remember when I first came to Paya Lebar, I was approached by the mosque and the church almost at the same time to build sheltered linkways from their back gates to the nearest HDB block. They both run preschools, and it was difficult for caregivers and children when it rains. We could not tap on any government funds. We do not run the town council. We had no other resources. But we did not give up. We raised the funds ourselves. We brought both communities together and embarked on the project together. If we feel that there is a pressing need for any project in Aljunied and it is beneficial, we'll take the initiative to get it done. We do so because we believe that community must stand above politics. It matters not where we serve. I remember working with the team in 2017 to revamp and relaunch our grocery distribution program. We did so because we observed that some of our beneficiaries were giving away their groceries after collection. I asked an elderly beneficiary why she did so. She said that it was too heavy and there were some items that her family did not consume. We thought we could do more, and we did. We launched the GEMS program as a result. We raised funds so that we can purchase items based on feedback, giving beneficiaries what they need. We galvanized our volunteers, and we now deliver by hand to each beneficiary household to their doorstep. These experiences taught us how we serve on the ground is very important. We always listen, go the extra mile, try our very best. This has been at the core of what we have been doing in Aljunied. At this election, our message is a very simple one. We want to do more. More importantly, we want to do more with you, for you. Thank you. Victor?
Dear Aljunied voters, we are your PAP grounded team tested in adversity, serving you continuously, faithfully, with heart. 勤政, 爱民. Give us a chance to do better for you. For you are at the center of what we do. It's been 9 years. It's time. Bring us home.
Friday, 10th July is polling day, when you can exercise your right to vote. Additional measures have been introduced to make voting safer for senior voters. For senior voters aged 65 and above, your poll card will have the sergeant sign. You will be allotted a voting time band in the morning. If you turn up outside your allotted time band, you will be given priority to vote. On polling day, you or your family members can check the queue status at votequeue.goware.gov.sg before heading to your polling station. If you need assistance, a family member who's assigned to the same polling station may accompany you. Election officials will be on hand if you need a wheelchair. All polling stations are barrier-free. If you need help with electronic registration, disinfect your hands with hand sanitizer before passing your NRIC to the election official. After electronic registration, join one of the queues to receive the ballot paper. When it's your turn, place your poll card and NRIC on the table. After the election official has read out your voter serial number and name, you may keep your poll card and NRIC. Then, please sanitize your hands and put on the disposable gloves before receiving the ballot paper. Go to the polling booth. You may request a lap polling booth if the polling booth is not suitable for you. Use the self-inking pen to mark a cross in the empty box for the candidate you are voting for. You may also use your own pen. Do not make other markings on the ballot paper. When you're done, fold your ballot paper in half and drop it into the ballot box. Remove your gloves and place them in the bin at the exit when you leave the polling station. Election officials are trained to provide all the assistance you need. Voting is safe. Your vote is secret. For more information, visit the Elections Department website or call the election hotline.
Tonight on News 5, political sparring continues over the 10 million population target claim. DPM Heng Swee Keat says spreading falsehoods is not the right kind of politics. While the Singapore Democratic Party says people should read the 2019 news report and decide for themselves whether its claims are false. And retail sales plunge the most on record as the pandemic bites. Here are the candidates contesting in Mo Kio GRC.
Dear voters of Mo Kio GRC, good evening. Let me start off in Chinese. 各位红毛桥的选民，大家晚上好。过去几个月，全国上下一起对抗冠病疫情，红毛桥的居民也付出了许多努力。有些发挥爱心，缝制口罩给有需要的家庭；有的则把手工消毒液放在电梯，供大家使用。谢谢大家。在红毛桥，许多居民是乐龄人士，所以我们更要加强防疫工作，尽力保护我们的年长居民，我们的爸爸妈妈、爷爷奶奶。我们的另一个工作重点是维持经济的发展，保住人民的饭碗。政府已经推出了一系列的援助，帮助国人渡过难关。我们要让人民能够继续应付生活开销，也尽量保住大家的工作。例如，我们在24个市镇设立职业中心 其中一个就坐落在径山民众俱乐部。这个生涯规划中心将帮助全球工作的红毛桥居民为你们服务。在市政管理方面，我们在过去几年里改善和增添了不少的新设施。我们还有许多构想，为红毛桥的居民提供一个更理想的生活与居住环境。稍后严天宝与杰乐将和大家分享细节。Fighting COVID-19 over the last few months has been tough on everyone. In Mo Kio, the town council has given households and shops SMCC rebates to lighten your burden. But the crisis is far from over. Right now, jobs are our top priority. We are holding 2 job fairs this month in Chengsan CC and Yio Chu Kang CC. If you have lost your job or lost income because of COVID-19, we have schemes to help you. My new GRC team includes 2 sitting MPs, Gan Tiampo and Daryl David, and 2 new candidates, Nadia Ahmad Samdin, who will replace Ang Hin Ki, and Ng Ling Ling, who replaces Intan Azura Mokhtar. Old and new, we will all do our best to serve you and make your life better. After the election, Mo Kio GRC plans to form one town council, together with Yio Chu Kang and Kebun Baru. So I ask voters there to please support your PAP candidates, Yip Hon Weng in Yio Chu Kang and Henry Kwek in Kebun Baru. They are good men. Let us all work together to make Mo Kio an ideal town in which to live, work and play. Para pengundi GRC Mo Kio, salam sejahtera. Krisis ini adalah cabaran terbesar yang dihadapi Singapura sejak merdeka. Kami sedang melakukan sedaya upaya untuk memastikan setiap rakyat selamat dan sihat dan untuk menyokong ekonomi kita. Tumpuan kami adalah pekerjaan, melindungi pekerjaan yang sedia ada dan mencipta pekerjaan baru. Saya menyeru anda untuk menyokong saya dan pasukan PAP saya di Mo Kio dan seluruh Singapura. Kami akan bekerjasama dengan anda dan membawa kita semua keluar daripada krisis ini dengan selamat. Now over to Nadia to introduce herself.
Terima kasih, PM. Hello everyone, I'm Nadia. In 2003, when SARS first hit Singapore, I was still a student. My father was the sole breadwinner and he had worked in the same company for more than 30 years. It was devastating when companies could no longer keep their employees, my dad included. But my parents did everything they could to ensure that we continued our education. My mum retrained as a preschool teacher, and my dad displayed an amazing sense of entrepreneurship, even though he was well into his late 50s. I remember them study notes at the dining table, typing away at the old computer. How proud I was of them for trying and adapting. Since earlier this year, I've had the opportunity to meet with residents of Chengsan Seletar with Mr. Ang Hin Ki. I launched home-based learning kits with my team to support students whose backgrounds are not so different from mine back then. Empowering every student to reach their full potential is a cause that is close to my heart. I've worked in youth empowerment initiatives for the last 15 years. We also hope to bring job opportunities closer to the community in a familiar setting. We plan to set up a job fair and career center in Chengsan CC this month. Today we face a new pandemic with deeper effects on lives and livelihoods. But what we need today is no different from what got us through back then. The same resilient grit in the Singapore spirit to uphold our values and sustain our economy. Salam sejahtera, nama saya Nadia. Selama 15 tahun sebagai seorang relawan, saya melibatkan diri dalam pelbagai usaha untuk membimbing belia yang kurang berkemampuan dan juga keluarga mereka. Saya amat prihatin dengan usaha ini kerana saya akur bahawa bantuan yang diberi tepat pada waktunya boleh merubah jalan hidup kita. Jika diberi peluang, saya akan suarakan hasrat dan harapan generasi muda. Satu lagi golongan yang menyentuh hati saya adalah warga emas. Sejak awal tahun ini, saya mendekati para penduduk di Ang Mo Kio. Saya faham ramai yang rasa kesunyian pada musim pemutus litar kerana tiada akses ataupun kurang faham cara menggunakan alat digital. Semakin Singapura maju ke hadapan, saya juga mahu warga emas kita tidak ketinggalan. Terima kasih. 接下来我请电波介绍我们的乐龄计划，谢谢大家。
Thanks, Nadia. 亲爱的红毛桥集选区同胞们，首先我们要感谢我们的建国一代与立国一代的所付出的努力。我们将继续与大家确保老有所养，幼有所教。我们将会继续在区内进行多项亲乐龄与亲家庭的工程，方便许多年长者、有小孩和行动不方便的居民们。这包括设立银发区、电梯翻新、增设双用途的有盖走廊、无障碍通行，并继续推广乐龄义计划，协助有需要的年长人士在家里的卫生间增加扶手。宜居设施固然重要，亲情不能少。我们还会与大家一起努力，在我们区内设立并提升更多的居民角落与爱心联络站，让居民联络感情，发扬互助关怀的钢板精神。就如每当榴莲季节飘香时，大家总会念念不忘，不分彼此，不分种族、宗教、语言，一家大小，扶老携幼，帮忙组织榴莲派对。榴莲就是大家的共同语言，共同的情怀，互相扶持，话家常，其乐融融，一家人共享天伦之乐。这就是我们一同拥有的家——红帽桥。I have shared about what we are doing for the seniors in our community, especially the pioneer and merdeka generations, who have done so much for Singapore. Daryl now will share more.
Thank you, Tiampo. Hello, everyone. I'm Daryl David. I've been your MP for the past 5 years. Ang Mo Kio will always have a special place in my heart. My family and I were amongst the first residents who moved into the town in the 1970s, and I'm still living in the area today. Since then, Ang Mo Kio town, like the other towns in our GRC, Serangoon North and Hougang, has become a mature estate. Our residents enjoy facilities such as wet markets, hawker centres, shops, malls and schools. As our flats and facilities age, we've launched many programs to enhance our homes and rejuvenate our surroundings. Ang Mo Kio town is one of the towns under the government's Remaking Our Heartlands program. And over the past 5 years, we've rolled out our Home Improvement Program, or HIP. By the end of next year, more than 180 flats would have benefited from this. Our Neighbourhood Renewal Program, or NRP, rejuvenates our HDB neighbourhoods and gives our residents there new letterboxes, fitness corners, playgrounds and covered walkways. And the needs of our private estate residents have been catered for under the Estates Upgrading Program, or EUP. Community clubs, or CCs, are the heart of a neighbourhood, and the upgraded Tegi CC was opened last year. Cheng San CC is due for an upgrade soon. And next year, the brand new Fernvale CC will be opening. Now in that CC, there will be a childcare centre and hawker centre, and for the first time ever in a CC, a wet market. I'm sure Tiampo and our Fernvale residents will be very excited about that. To make getting around easier, we have run more bus services and we have expanded our bus networks into our private estates. We are extending our cycling and walking network, and on the Thomson East Coast MRT line, Lentor and Mayflower stations will be opening soon. We have achieved so much together in the past 5 years. Let us continue to make Ang Mo Kio GRC a wonderful place to live, work and play. Ling Ling.
Thank you, Dara. Hello everyone, I'm Ling Ling. As I come from a large extended family, I've always had a strong community and mutual help spirit. I empathize with residents whose jobs and businesses have been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic this period. With Dr. Intan, I've been co-leading the development of social and financial resilience efforts in Jalan Kayu. We listen to our residents who face a range of challenges and find the help that can support them. I remember a couple who contracted COVID-19 and their jobs in the tourism industry were also affected. As they have a young child, they were very worried. When they recovered, we helped them find contract jobs to tide them over. This is how families can be affected and how I will continue to help them with the volunteers in Jalan Kayu. Mo Kio GRC has many good social and healthcare programs today. We have charities like Mo Kio Family Service Center, Tai Hwa Kwan Moral Society and Sun Love Home. 2 years ago, a bigger and better Mo Kio Polyclinic was also opened to serve multi-generation needs. As Mo Kio Town matures and its population ages, we will need more social and healthcare programs. On the GRC team, I will use my social service and healthcare transformation experience to develop new initiatives for healthier living and strong social support for our senior residents. 大家好，我是玲玲，希望能在红帽桥集选区为大家服务。在惹然郊游分区，我已经积极的在帮助有需要的居民与援助计划联系起来。我也深切的关心居民们的长期健康，尤其是我们的乐龄人士。在集选区团队中，我会应用我在社会服务和医疗保健的经验，开发新计划，为我们红帽桥的居民们的身心健康和凝聚力做出贡献。I will hand over to Prime Minister to conclude.
My teammates and I ask for your full support to carry out our plans in Mo Kio. 我希望红帽桥的选民会继续委托我和我的团队为您服务。我们将全力以赴应对挑战，带领新加坡前进，守护大家的生命，保障大家的工作，共创我们的未来。Please vote PAP to secure our lives, our jobs, and our future. 谢谢 Terima kasih, Nandri.
Thank you.
Dear voters of Mo Kio GRC, I'm Chow Siu and I'm honored to be standing with my teammates as a candidate for the Reform Party. We will be addressing you today in English, Mandarin and Malay. We deeply apologize in advance for there being no Tamil speaker available to address the Mo Kio electorate in Tamil. And we know that the Indian community, of which the Tamil community is a subset, has always given us its fuller support as we have spoken up extensively on minority rights in Singapore. We will be putting up a Tamil translation of our speech on our party's official Facebook page shortly. The first issue is really that of the part-time MP. You deserve full-time MPs devoted to your interests. All of us in the Reform Party team, led by Kenneth J. Rednam, are well aware that our first and foremost duty is to you, our constituents, and that public service is an honor, not a right. Numerous residents we met on our walkabouts complained that they have not seen their MP or only very sporadically, and this is unsurprising. The PAP parachutes in many backbenchers with heavy professional work commitments. Claims of dedication ring hollow unless one is prepared to be a full-time MP. It is a matter of common sense. If one is to be engaged in the day with his work, he will have no energy after the end of the workday to be engaged to fulfill his MP duties. I and my teammates are genuinely here to serve. If I'm fortunate to be elected by you, I promise that we will organize more frequent MPS sessions. Kenneth has already devoted himself to helping many of those citizens most in need. And as you may know, he is a Singaporean who truly understands the meaning of public service. We will, all of us, make ourselves available to our constituents and respond to you with a sense of urgency and diligence. All legitimate questions that you direct us to ask in Parliament will in fact be asked. Voters of Mo Kio, I have also heard your complaints that you are unhappy with high service and conservancy charges and that you have noted that expensive managing agents are hired but not, it seems, to facilitate you. We will change this. I am a practicing lawyer and I will carefully examine the wastefulness of projects proposed by the PAP, which seem designed not to improve the lives of the residents, but purely to provide contracts for its own sake. The next issue is that of the aging HDB flat. Mo Kio is a mature estate. I have spotted staircase cracks and no doubt spalling concrete is an issue as well. Our manifesto has proposed to address this. The HDB should not be allowed to profit and flats should be affordable. As the price of HDB flats increase, the PAP promise of being able to afford your own home rings hollow. The reality is that many elderly may be evicted from their flat by the time their lease expires, and other residents will find themselves with virtually nothing at all to pass to their children after a lifetime of hard work. This is how the PAP creates austerity for the common man, but a good life for those who are its bootlickers. It makes a mockery of the PAP's claim that your HDB flat will be an appreciating asset forever. We now know that at the end of the lease, its value returns to zero. I know that the cost of living is also an issue for you. I've spoken to many small shopkeepers in the area who are AMK constituents. They shared with us that the rental was high and they found it difficult to do business due to bureaucratic red tape. This is wrong. Businesses have been hit hard by the pandemic and that creates job losses and real hardship. Our slogan for GE2020 is Build Back Better and Fairer. So we pledge to facilitate small business and SME development, which is the lifeblood of citizen welfare. I will actively meet with resident storeholders, and my team will as well, to look into their commercial concerns. Many of you have children of school-going age or about to enter the workforce, and you have voiced a concern that the propagandistic and education system, which is designed to be a tool of social control, does not allow for critical thinking skills to be developed or for the skills required for employment. You express discontent that your children were unable to find permanent employment and had to take up ad hoc employment such as being Grab food delivery men or Grab taxi drivers. These are not issues unique to Mo Kio. Thus, all I will say is that we will actively campaign against educational elitism and the lie that every school is a good school, and for the legitimate duty of the government to protect its citizens first and foremost in the area of employment. I hope this does not sound overly harsh, but we can love Singapore and be diligent citizens and at the same time voice out our complaints. Kindly go to our reform.sg website to see our policy proposals in detail. I hope you all stay safe in these difficult times, and I finally implore you, if you want a change for the better, please make sure to go out and vote on polling day.
Pengundi yang terhormat dari Mo Kio GRC, saya Noraini binti Yunus merasa amat terhormat untuk menjadi calon GRC ini bersama rakan sepasukan saya dari Parti Reform Singapura. Pasukan anda sekarang telah menjaga anda seperti mereka katakan. Selama bertahun-tahun, tapi kami bertemu dengan penduduk Mo Kio dan kami telah mendengar aduan anda mengenai sesi pertemuan penduduk. Ia hanya 2 jam dan pada waktu malam sahaja. Ahli Parlimen menulis surat yang tidak efektif dalam menangani masalah tersebut. Sebagai contoh, masalah kehilangan pekerjaan anda sebagai pekerja yang lebih tua tanpa celik komputer Kemudian perlu menangani kursus untuk ujian agar dapat disahkan sebagai pekerja yang kompeten. Saya tahu bagaimana rasanya bekerja dan cuba belajar pada masa yang sama untuk meningkatkan kemahiran anda sementara anda juga menjaga seorang keluarga, ahli keluarga di rumah. Saya telah melakukan ini semasa mengambil kursus sarjana dan sebelumnya semasa saya seorang mahasiswi biasa. Saya tidak sabar untuk bekerjasama dengan pasukan saya yang merangkumi seorang peguam dan ahli ekonomi terkemuka untuk menjaga anda dengan betul. Ia merupakan perhormatan sejati untuk melayani anda di Ang Mo Kio dan di negara kita Singapura ini yang kita sayangi. Saya harap anda akan memilih saya dan pasukan saya. Saya berjanji bahawa jika kami menang pada pilihan raya umum tahun 2020 ini, saya akan membantu anda di Ang Mo Kio menggunakan semua masa, tenaga dan kemahiran saya untuk mengatasi rintangan yang anda hadapi. Sila membaca manifesto kami mengenai pembaharuan di laman web reform.sg. Kami tahu contohnya flat HDB anda telah kehilangan nilai kerana pegangan pajak yang semakin berkurangan. Kami mengesyorkan dalam manifesto kami bahawa ia diubah menjadi pegangan bebas berdasarkan harga tanah. Parti Reform juga meminta wang CPF anda dikembalikan pada usia 55 tahun. Kami juga mempunyai cadangan menarik untuk menangani perubahan iklim. Kami akan melakukan yang terbaik untuk anda setiap masa dan kami berdoa dan memohon kepada semua pengundi GRC Ang Mo Kio agar berani mengambil langkah-langkah untuk menggantikan yang lama dengan yang baru. Ingatlah, jika anda mahukan perubahan, maka anda harus keluar dan mengundi. Cukuplah undi untuk Parti Reform. Bersama-sama kita dapat membina semula dengan lebih baik dan adil. Ayuh Singapura.
亲爱的红帽桥选民，首先我想向你们道歉，因为我们今天本来是苏先生要给这个台词的，可是因为他病倒了，他不能够出席。我们不要让这回事影响到今天所要讨论的话题。不管行动党让我们播这个东西，这些台词，我们也是要用这个时间跟你们说很重要的内容。我们5个人为什么出来为你们讨论话题的原因，参与政治活动，参与竞选，是因为我们真的不要为你们人民百姓效劳。在2019疫情情况下，你们很多在我们的探访居民时候，有向我们说，你们最担心的是饭碗不足，失去工作，不能够继续的筹业。行动党一直从1965年虐待百姓、欺压百姓，做了很多不道德的东西。行动党的谎言，百姓已经懂了。第一个谎言是，他们要百姓，尤其是那些比较没有金钱上比较穷的，要他们不管他们的工作被科技取代，叫他们英文所称为 Pioneer Generation。做那些停车场服务人员、 清理人员，甚至我们亲眼看到了很多次，他们70、80岁还是要去捡垃圾、捡 cardboard、捡那些水的铁罐。行动党还敢讲这个社会是通常用儒家思想的想法，讲这个社会是会照顾老人家。可是儒家所教的第一个是百德以孝为先，这个社会已经成何体统？政府坚持 WSQ 培训，这也影响了许多不愿接受培训的年长者，甚至连做保安工作也不能够做。坦白说，行动党是不管你们的生命的。红帽桥选民担心房屋老龄化，因为部长曾经说过，并非所有的政府组屋租置都会到期后续约。长话短说，我们了解你们的担心，医疗费用，我们不要让这个社会变成一个社会，外国人有奖学金，可是我们的这些老人家一直的被虐待。红帽桥选民，你们已经跟我们讲过很多次，每次见议员时需要等好几个小时才能见到他们的议员，联络不了他们的议员，为什么呢？因为这些议员他们都懂，他们能够进工会，他们能够进 Parliament， 他们完全都不管这回事。他们会口头禅，他们会讲能够赚很多因为他们讲为人民服务这些话题，可是他们是能够做很多，在他们的筹业上赚很多钱，所以他们会在他们就是不可能为人民效劳，就是在这个国会里面睡觉。谢谢你。
Lights Camera Singapore presents, in a mall where many people come and go. Everyone is here for different reasons.
For my husband.
And as diverse as their backgrounds may be, the mall is where they become linked to one another. Lights Camera Singapore presents the feature film Gone Shopping, Tuesday at 10:15 p.m. on 5. Gone Shopping is available on demand for free on MeWatch.
Next week on Kin.
When you look at Khalid, what do you feel?
Myself. I'm damaged. And because of me, my son's damaged too.
Thank you for taking me to Nikki's birthday party.
You're welcome.
Kin, Mondays to Thursdays on 5. More episodes of Kin are available on demand for free on MeWatch. Brought to you by Mitsubishi Electric StarMax Air Conditioner.
Hello, Winnie. Do you miss me?
What are you doing here?
Don't worry. I just need your help. You're the only one I can trust.
We've got half of the force looking for him right now. If we want to catch this guy, we have to play a different game.
Inspector Razali.
Code of Law Final, Monday at 10:15 p.m. on 5. More episodes of Code of Law Final are available on demand for free on MeWatch.
Shop at hdt.com.sg and authorized retailers for your BYD Care mask today.
BYD Care presents Mask for the Nation. Show the world what Singapore together means to you. Join the Mask for the Nation design contest. It could come in the form of drawings, paintings, or even graphics. Simply download the template at our official website and get creative. Upload your design, add a short write-up today. For submission via Instagram and Facebook, please include the hashtags #MaskForTheNation and #MediaCorp. Winners stand to win over $1,000 worth of cash or prizes. Contest ends on 3rd July. Main sponsor, Shakura, the pigmentation specialist from Japan. Allianz Insurance Singapore. We care about what matters to you.
Tonight on News 5, political sparring continues over the 10 million population target claim. DPM Heng Swee Keat says spreading falsehoods is not the right kind of politics. While the Singapore Democratic Party says people should read the 2019 news report and decide for themselves whether its claims are false. And retail sales plunge the most on record as the pandemic bites.
When heading out, take extra care. Making a small effort. Being mindful. They go a long way to keeping us all safe. So let's do our part.
Here are the candidates contesting in Bishan-Toa Payoh GRC.
Dear residents of Bishan and Toa Payoh, in my nearly 20 years as your Member of Parliament, this will be the 4th major global crisis that we have faced together. The terrorist attacks in 2001, followed by SARS in 2003, the global financial crisis in 2008, and the current COVID-19 pandemic all shook the world, threatened jobs and even lives of Singaporeans. Through each major crisis, the residents of Bishan and Toa Payoh rallied together and worked with community leaders. Through it all, in the midst of fear and uncertainty, we have continued to improve our town and the lives of our residents. Over the last 5 years, we have made improvements to Bishan and Toa Payoh. Elderly fitness stations and playgrounds can be found near every block, so that all residents, young and old, can keep themselves active and healthy. Many new covered walkways and drop-off points have been added. Our markets have been renovated with better ventilation and toilets. A new community club has been built in Bishan, while existing ones in Toa Payoh West and Thomson are being upgraded. We have stepped up repainting works for all blocks and lift replacements. A new 3-generation mega recreational park in Toa Payoh will be completed within a year. My colleagues and I will continue to improve Bishan and Toa Payoh if elected as your MPs. But I want to speak honestly and plainly when I say that the next few months will be difficult, as the COVID-19 outbreak has affected our economy badly. The PAP government has promised to do all it can to reduce retrenchments and has taken extraordinary measures to draw out more than $50 billion from our reserves to help companies keep their workers through wage support. Self-employed persons too are included in these schemes. Despite this, some businesses and companies may not survive. Vulnerable residents may lose their jobs and their families will be under great stress. Together, we must help residents through this difficult period, especially with those with financial difficulties. We promise our assistance. If they have children, we want to help them through the Community Scholarship, Comcare and Welfare Funds. As we have done so before, we will get through this crisis together. My colleagues and I will serve all residents diligently and honestly to the best of our abilities. We humbly ask for your vote so that through ups and downs, we will continue to improve Bishan and Toa Payoh and your lives year after year. Vote PAP。 亲爱的碧山大牌居民，我很荣幸在这20年来获选成为你们的国会议员。 非常感谢你们一直以来的支持和鼓励。在这20年里，我们一起共同面对许多困难，Bishan-Toa Payoh的居民都能团结一致。新冠病毒疫情对我们的经济造成了严重的影响，接下来的几个月将会有艰难。我和我的同僚恳求您的一票，让我们再来届为您和您的家人服务，持续改善Bishan-Toa Payoh的设施以及您的生活。请投人民行动党一票，谢谢大家。
Thank you, Dr. Ng. Dear residents of Bishan-Toa Payoh, I am Mo Kio. I am glad to have served you as the MP for Bishan-Toa Payoh GRC and Chairman of Bishan-Toa Payoh Town Council since 2015. In the past 5 years, my team and I have committed to build a united and cohesive community together with you, listen to your needs, and improve our estates. Under the Leaf Renewal Plan, our Town Council has completed the replacement of 124 leaves, with more to come. We have also worked hard to bring estate upgrading program to Thompson, Fulton, and Pemimpin estates. Within the community, we have implemented many programs to ensure equal opportunities are available to all. We work with community partners on mentorship program for children from vulnerable families. With the support of businesses in our community, our Equal Start program provides these children with free enrichment classes such as music, dancing, chess, and taekwondo. These programs will continue. We will also enhance our bursary program to provide targeted help for more families. I sincerely ask for your votes to serve the community and to work together with you to build a better future. 我希望能继续在团队所设立的良好基础上再接再厉。请让我与您携手共创美好的未来。请投人民行动党一票。Please vote for PAP. Thank you. I now hand over to Satyandi.
Thank you, Ki Hyong. Dear residents, good evening. My name is Satyandi Supaat. I'm humbled to have served you at Bishan-Toa Payoh GRC since 2015, a neighbourhood with a strong sense of community. A strong neighbourhood and strong community spirit, I believe, is the community's first line of defence to the deep crisis that we face today. Just like how 4,000 young people have benefited from community bursaries and bond-free community scholarships since 2015, we will help more going forward. At Toa Payoh East, we have shaped signature programs such as the Block Ambassador Program, the 10 Hot Meals, and the Quick Action Aid. All of this to help vulnerable residents and the elderly. All of these programs will continue with your support. Krisis pandemik kali ini akan memberi kesan yang lebih lama terhadap masyarakat kita. Penduduk yang rentan mungkin akan dibuang kerja, keluarga mereka akan tertekan. Tetapi jangan risau, kami sedia membantu anda. Seperti mana lebih $650,000 telah kami berikan dari segi bantuan keuangan kebajikan dan Comcare untuk para penduduk Bishan-Toa Payoh GRC yang memerlukan. Semua ini untuk meningkatkan mutu kehidupan mereka. Bersama berganding bahu dengan pemimpin masyarakat Melayu Islam di GRC kita, saya akan membantu masyarakat kita menangani krisis ini dan bersiap sedia untuk persekitaran selepas COVID-19. Kami akan meningkatkan keupayaan firma dan pekerja kita dari segi peningkatan kemahiran, keupayaan digital dan juga untuk merebut peluang yang akan mungkin timbul. Kami akan dapat lakukan semua ini dan banyak lagi hanya dengan sokongan anda. Undilah PAP. Now I pass to Hong Tat.
Terima kasih, Andy. 各位碧山大巴油的居民，大家晚上好，我是徐方达， 很荣幸从2015年起能为大家服务。照顾年长居民是我们碧山大坝腰的重点项目之一。很多昂哥安迪和我说，他们要保持身体健康，过着快乐、充实的生活。过去几年，我们增添了区内的基础设施，提供更多服务，让年长居民更方便地在区内做体检、参加保健活动。我在大坝窑128组屋设立了老地方乐龄活动中心，居民可以一起做运动、做手工、煮东西，过着活跃的乐龄生活。我们会继续并加强这些服务，包括照顾年长者的心理健康。我们为居民争取了新的碧山综合诊疗所，我们也将扩建大坝窑综合诊疗所，为居民提供更好的医疗服务。我会继续努力，用心聆听居民的反馈和建议，用实际行动把工作做好。请支持我们的团队，投人民行动党一票。谢谢。Dear residents, this is a critical time for Singapore. Our top priority is jobs for Singaporeans. The government has set up the National Jobs Council to ensure that Singaporeans remain employable. This is my focus at MTI and MOE, working with colleagues there to create jobs, including in growth sectors like healthcare, early childhood education and training, and adult education. To bring our services closer to residents, SG United Jobs and Skills Centre will be set up in both Bishan and Toa Payoh to organize job fairs and job-related services. If you're looking for a job, please visit one of these centres, and we will do our best to help you. This election is an important one as we face uncertain times ahead. Your vote will decide the way forward for Singapore and for Bishan-Toa Payoh. We ask for your trust and your vote to look after you and your family. Please vote for PAP. Thank you and good night.
Good evening, residents of Bishan-Toa Payoh GRC. We are at a time where you, the electorate, has the power to vote for your representative in Parliament. We are happy that you have made your alternative voice known to us. It is our duty to ensure that these voices be heard in Parliament. Let us keep regular checks and balances on the government. We will debate on policies, and most importantly, we want to hold the government accountable for you. These elections, it is not about a report card for the PAP. It is not about a fresh mandate for them. It is about your livelihoods and the futures of our generation. There are many issues that we want answers for. We must question the necessity to raise GST to 9%, the necessity to build Terminal 5, and the necessity for additional economic cooperation agreements. This list goes on. In these coming elections, we want transparency, we want accountability, and most importantly, we want answers to our questions. Fellow Singaporeans, this is the time to make the government work for you. You have the power through your secret vote. Please exercise it well. Remember, you are voting for a member of parliament. You are voting for someone who best understands you. You are voting for someone who dares to speak up for you. You are not voting for a minister. Please give us a chance to serve you. Please make the right choice. Vote for your best representative into Parliament in the coming polls. Walk together with us towards a better tomorrow. Please vote for the Singapore People's Party. Thank you.
碧山大巴窑集选区的居民，你们好，我是李健全，新加坡人民党的副主席。过去几年里，我拜访了许多居民，同样的社会问题反复出现，例如生活费高昂的低收入家庭的政府补救金不足够，工作雇用的数量不足够等等。我们新加坡人民党很感激你们向来向我们表达您的看法和心声。我们在此对您保证，坚决一定将把这声音带送上国会表达，也会替你们辩论国家政策。最重要的是，我们一定确保政府能对人民的负责，给下一代有更好的生活。我有几个问题想问问大家：我们需要这么多外国人才吗？还是说我们没有人才？消费税需要涨高到90%吗？需要吗？政府组屋99年后就没有价值了，应该还有更好的方策。在此进行的大选中，你们的投票权可以让这些问题而改变。我们新加坡人民党一定要在国会中确保政府能够给人民负责性。接下来的5年，就让我们向前迈进，打造一个更好的明天。谢谢。
Dear Singaporeans and fellow voters, my name is Steve Chia, and I am the Secretary General of the Singapore People's Party. I am leading the team for Bishan-Toa Payoh GRC team. I took over from Mr. Chiam See Tong as the new Secretary General of the party. Together with my 3 teammates, we are seeking for your vote in Bishan-Toa Payoh and Thomson area. You must be asking yourself, what is in it for us to vote for you? So, may I humbly ask for 6 minutes of your precious time to present our case. First, if elected, we will commit our time to you as a full-time MP. We will become MPs who will always be available to you to attend to your concerns. We want to listen to you with empathy and address to your needs. Second, Parliament is the place where laws are being made. There is a need for more conversations and debates on policies and issues that affect you before being made law. We want to hold public officers to greater accountability. We don't want PAP to own-self check own-self. Third, this COVID crisis has greatly impacted the world and Singapore. Our Prime Minister is now asking again for a strong mandate. Do you really want to give PAP another 70% of the vote? Do you want the whole Parliament to have 93 PAP elected MPs to speak PAP policies? No. I believe you will want diversity of views. I believe you will want alternative parties with alternative ideas to propose alternative solutions. you will also want to have a balanced parliament to protect against power abuse. 4. We want to talk about issues that matters to you. Through the years, the PAP government has failed to solve many areas of growing concerns. Wages are stagnating. Cost of living has been rising. The value of money has been getting smaller and smaller. HDB flats are getting out of reach for the young. Yet, the value of your old flat is depreciating every day as the lease gets shorter and shorter. Foreign talents are competing for good jobs with you, your family, and your children. We are not being xenophobic here, but we believe that a balanced approach should be taken so that Singaporeans do not feel shortchanged. And some of you may also be in debt, borrowing from banks, credit cards, or even moneylenders. Yet, you cannot draw down or borrow from your own CPF. It is as though the money is not yours for any use. Income inequality is getting out of hand. Ministers are paid millions, while the gross median wage of Singaporeans remained at just over 4,500 per month last year. There is no job security and there is no minimum wage to fall back on. Why? SPP proposed that there should be a minimum wage law to protect you. 5. Almost every year, the government has enjoyed huge budget surpluses that is added to the reserves. Yet, no one knows the total amount of the national reserves. Is it $1 trillion or $2 trillion? No one knows because the PAP government says it is a national secret. Yet, you have the PM's wife as CEO of Temasek Holding and whose salary is yet another national secret. We need more transparency and better accountability. This is just one of many governance issues that needs to be addressed. And the only way to answer that is to ask the hard questions in Parliament. 6. We believe that the Constitution should not be easily amended to suit the objectives of the PAP. The government pushes through their reasoning for a Malay minority in the last presidential election. But are you convinced? Or do you feel deprived of your rights to elect your president? It is thus crucial that we deny PAP the power to rubber stamp policies and change the constitution to suit their advantage. Together with other non-governing parties, we seek to deny PAP a 2/3 majority in Parliament. To conclude, in this election, we are fielding a small but strong team who have your best interests at heart. Candidates who seek to listen, take action, and serve. Candidates who are willing to receive your calls and messages personally and come down to meet you in person to help with your problems. This is the kind of service standards that we expect to deliver. Make your MPs work hard to serve you with humbleness. Make your vote count. Vote wisely on 10 July. Help us to build up the alternatives. Let us together build up credible alternative parties. Let us together secure a better tomorrow for yourself, your family, and your loved ones. Lastly, please take care. COVID virus is still out there. Please stay safe, my friend. Thank you and good night.
Friday, 10th July is polling day, when Singaporeans can exercise their right to vote. Eligible voters will receive a poll card showing their allotted polling station and voting time band. On polling day, before heading to your polling station during your allotted voting time band, you can check the queue status at votequeue.goware.gov.sg to minimize waiting time. Before leaving home, check your temperature. If your temperature is 37.5 degrees Celsius and above, or you are having respiratory symptoms, do not go to vote. You can apply to restore your name to the electoral register without penalty after the election. If your temperature is below 37.5 degrees Celsius, bring along your NRIC and your poll card to your polling station. Don't forget to wear your mask. When you arrive at the polling station, please join the queue at the temperature screening station. If your temperature is 37.5 degrees Celsius and above, you will be turned away. All voters must wear masks and observe safe distancing. Remember, at the polling station, do not take photographs or videos in the voting area. Within the voting area, priority queuing is given to senior voters and voters with physical disabilities. We have also reserved the morning time ban for senior voters aged 65 years and above. Keep 1 meter apart from others when you're in queue. Lower your mask for identification and show the election official your photo on your NRIC. Scan your NRIC to register yourself. If you need help from the election official, sanitize your hands before handing over your NRIC. After electronic registration, join one of the queues to receive the ballot paper. When it is your turn, place your poll card and NRIC on the table. After the election official has read out your voter serial number and name, you may keep your poll card and NRIC. Then, please sanitize your hands and put on the disposable gloves before receiving the ballot paper. Go to the polling booth and mark a cross in the empty box for the candidate you are voting for with the self-inking pen. You may also use your own pen. When you're done, fold your ballot paper in half and drop the ballot paper into the ballot box. Remove your gloves and place them in the bin at the exit when you leave the polling station. Be socially responsible and help ensure voting is safe. Voting is safe. Your vote is secret. For more information, visit the Elections Department website or call the election hotline.
Tonight on News 5, political sparring continues over the 10 million population target claim. DPM Heng Swee Keat says spreading falsehoods is not the right kind of politics. While the Singapore Democratic Party says people should read the 2019 news report and decide for themselves whether its claims are false. And retail sales plunge the most on record as the pandemic bites. Here are the candidates contesting in Bukit Batok SMC.
亲爱的五G八都居民，我是阿姆，希望能得到你们的支持，让我们一起建设更美好的5G Patu. 谢谢。Para penduduk yang saya hormati di Bukit Batok, saya Murali, calon PAP bagi kawasan undi Bukit Batok. Saya mengharapkan undian anda untuk dipilih sekali lagi sebagai ahli parlimen anda. Bersama-sama, marilah kita menjadikan Bukit Batok satu komuniti yang lebih kukuh dengan masa depan yang lebih cerah. Sekian, terima kasih. Angulla Bukit Batok Makale, Nan Murali. Bukit Batok மக்கள் செயல் கட்சி வேட்பாளர். உங்கள் வாக்குகளை மற்றும் ஆதரவை பெற விரும்புகிறேன். வலுவான சமூகம், பிரகாசமான எதிர்காலம் கொண்ட Bukit Batokை நாம் ஒன்று சேர்ந்து உருவாக்கலாம். நன்றி, வணக்கம். Dear Bukit Batok residents, it's my honor to run once again as the PAP candidate for Bukit Batok SMC. I have in my manifesto laid out my plans to make Bukit Batok a stronger community with a brighter future. We face an uncertainty like never before, arising from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Out of the 26 fatalities in Singapore, one fatality involved a Bukit Batok resident. He was a taxi driver, he was the main breadwinner of his family, and he looked after his grandchild who had special needs. His widow came to me asking for assistance, and that was how we set up the Helping Hands Fund. Through the fund, we helped her and we intend to help other low-income families as well. In our manifesto, we have other plans. Yes, the government will have to have plans to help all of us. But in Bukit Batok, we need to have a strong community plan to make sure that we retain our shape. It's not enough just to have plans. You need to have the ability to execute it. You need to have the leadership, the people, the resources, and the organizations. And this is where I lay down before you my service in Bukit Batok. I have served for 20 years, of which 4 as your MP. I have forged close bonds with community volunteers, with community partners, and most of all with you. With your support, I'm confident of making these plans a reality. So please, vote PAP, vote for me. Thank you.
Dear friends and voters of Bukit Batok, I have repeatedly said that MPs ought to go full-time. Let me explain why. It is not humanly possible for an MP to have a daytime job and at the same time give his full attention to his responsibilities in the constituency. First, there is the town council to run. Then there are the residents' needs and concerns to take care of. On top of that, you have to conduct your homework on proposed bills and speak up in Parliament. I cannot see how someone can handle all these responsibilities on a part-time basis. Yet Mr. Murali insists on doing his work on a part-time basis. When PAP MPs do is to contract out their work to profit-making businesses called managing agents. Residents end up paying an extra layer of costs for such agents when the MP was elected to do the work in the first place. It doesn't make sense. What's more, when you do the work on a part-time basis, there is a danger that you will overlook procedures and jeopardize the safety of residents, as it has happened in more than a couple of instances in Bukit Batok. This is not acceptable. If an MP doesn't give his full attention to his responsibilities, dangerous situations are more likely to happen. Now, I'll elaborate this in my online speeches, which I hope you will tune in to watch. Now, for these reasons, I will do the work as the MP for Bukit Batok on a full-time basis. I will not contract out my responsibility to a managing agent. And this will save more costs for residents. And instead, I will personally see to it that only the most qualified and experienced professionals handle the job, and they will directly be answerable to me. Now, in the first 100 days of taking over the Bukit Batok Town Council, I promised to accomplish the following by publishing an interim financial report on the handover process, announce the Town Council budgetary plan, and produce a 12-month work plan. Now, this is to make the running of the estate transparent and accountable, as well as for you to track my performance. As for taking care of the residents' needs, I will, 1, set aside a portion of my MP allowance to fund activities for the elderly, 2, set up a trust fund to assist lower income households in the constituency, and 3, to run enrichment programs for students to help them develop analytical skills so crucial for the future. Again, I will elaborate on these plans in my rally speech online. Please join me then. Now, Bukit Batok needs someone who genuinely cares about their residents and will give his 100% for you. You have that someone in me. Please vote for me on 10th July. Vote for the SDP. Thank you.
Here are the candidates contesting in Bukit Panjang SMC.
Dear residents of Bukit Panjang, I'm Liang Eng Hua. I grew up in Bukit Panjang. I still live around the area today, and this is where my life is. Bukit Panjang has improved significantly over the last decade, and hence the life of our residents as well. I'm very glad to have played a part in this journey, such as in the area of public transport, where I helped secure a number of new bus services like 972, 973, 976 and others. And as well the $344 million LRT upgrade. We will soon have our very own polyclinic within our town, and the second hawker center is in the works, and there are many other projects to come in the years. Most importantly, as the town enter into its 30th years, we need to invest into its continued vibrancy and sustainability. upgrade and renew our precincts and our blocks. The next few months will continue to be difficult. I know our residents are concerned about jobs, especially the young job seekers and the workers above the age of 40. I will work with you to improve your employability, to tap on the various jobs and skills programs to assist you. COVID-19 may have created daunting challenges ahead of us, but I humbly commit to you that I will walk this journey with you. I will serve you well. You can count on me to always do the best and to work to do what is right for Singapore and to take care of our estates. 这些年来，很荣幸能和张和彬市长与卫文部长在5G班让施政为您服务，并与您一起共同建设今天充满活力、现代化的5G班让。我在5G班让一带长大，也一直在这里生活。5G班让也是我的家，因此改善这个市政和居民的生活，不只是一个职责，对我来说，这也是一个使命。下一个发展阶段要做的事还很多，我们还有许多设施需要去规划、争取、新建，好让我们的市政能继续的提升、保养、保持活力。随着市政年长居民的增加，我也希望推出更多的乐龄活动和乐龄护理设施，好让我们的居民拥有更健康、更活跃的生活。有好多我们5G班让的住屋屋龄已超出了30年，我会尽快的争取政府的拨款，进行翻新，好让我们的每家每户居住环境与素质都有所提升。未来的5G班让也将会更绿化，社区邻里可以更和谐、更富有人情味。我有这个动力，我有这个能力，我有这个决心，会把事做好。诚心的期待能再次的为您服务，为您做事。谢谢。
Good evening, friends and fellow Singaporeans, and a special greeting to residents of Bukit Panjang. My name is Paul Anantambaya, and I'm the SDP candidate for Bukit Panjang in GE2020. We have enjoyed our interactions with the residents since 2011 and have heard about noise levels near loading bays and lift upgrading delays. In 2017, Minister Korbun once said the Bukit Panjang LRT was an afterthought, constructed because of political pressure. Now, no one we talked to has admitted to putting political pressure for the LRT. And this leads me to wonder, who exactly chooses the various improvement projects for the town? The PAP may often confuse our country with a corporation, but it cannot deny necessary services to residents, regardless of who wins the election. The SDP promises that we will run the town council ourselves with the active participation of residents. We will transparently demand all accounts be released to ensure a smooth transition. There will be no more investments in toxic financial products. The PAP has recklessly decided to risk the public's health and hold an election in the middle of a pandemic. They want to repeat the results of 2001 held soon after the 9/11 and this time wipe out the opposition, which would be a disaster for Singapore. The SDP has a simple message: 4 yes, 1 no. Yes to suspending GST till 2021, yes to retrenchment insurance, yes to retirement income for low-income seniors. Our comprehensive policy papers are all about putting people first. Now, how do we pay for this? We have calculated that using slightly more of the NIRC and raising wealth taxes, we would more than cover the cost without touching the reserves. Singapore does not have oil or gas or diamonds. Our reserves are built from the sacrifices of our parents and grandparents who gave up their pensions and cheap healthcare and housing so that we would have funds for a rainy day. A senior citizen with $500 cash or a retrenched single mother with $1,500 are more likely to spend their money in a hawker center or in the shops in Bukit Panjang than a billionaire putting his money in the Cayman Islands. It is much better to have the cash in the hands of the people rather than in corporations and hoping that some of it trickles down to the rest of us. Finally, if the pandemic has shown us anything, it has shown us that overcrowding is a recipe for disaster. In a Straits Times report dated March 29, 2019, DPM Heng Swee Keat is quoted as saying, "Singapore's population density is not excessive." The report goes on to state, and I quote, he cited former Chief Planner Liu Thai Ker, who said in 2014 that Singapore should plan for 10 million people for it to remain sustainable in the long term, end quote. We have long said no to 10 million people. The PAP now appears to have backed down on this one. Well done, Singapore. Let's keep Bukit Panjang and the rest of Singapore livable. Let's work together to build a democratic society based on justice and equality. Majulah, Singapura. Vote SDP. Thank you.